close and personal at long last with the magnificent and mighty Southwest Coast footpath. Andy and me set off early doors from Bristol, met up on the seafront at Minehead, and in short order we're walking the planned 14 or 15 miles down to County Gate, high up on Exmoor. What a baptism of fire this day was. We reckon we're going to do the whole damn thing in around about 50 walks, so come along with us. Well, this is it. The Southwest Coast Path, the beginning. One small step for Andy, one giant leap for me. 630 miles or thereabouts to go. We've been rigorously training in the Cotswolds, and today, on this glorious day, look at that blue sky, not a cloud in it. Looking back across Minehead Bay, and we're about to start heading that way, which is pretty much due west. Special tribute to both our partners, Emma and Hills, who've given us all the encouragement to get out of the house for as long as we possibly can, so they can have some peace and quiet. And there it is, and across now. I'm on it. Done. We're away. Well, this is what we're talking about, walking fans. The first ascent up the SWCP, just come out of Minehead. We're both shagged out already, but on we must go. Andy's ploughing his furrow up this footpath up Culbone Hill, just outside Minehead. Our first climb done then on the mighty Southwest Coast Path. We left the woodland behind and got out into the stunning open of Exmoor, walking 600-700 feet above sea level in the main, with plenty of steep drops and climbs out of the magnificent combes, these huge valleys that are so characteristic of this part of the coastline. Andy and me were challenged, but loved this part of the walk. The view from Bossington Hill was absolutely awesome, looking westwards across Porlock Bay itself. We headed down from Bossington Hill down to Hurlstone Point and then on towards the village of Bossington itself. Well, this is Bossington, but more importantly, we're both starving and at one of the psychological low points of any walk, which inevitably hits when you're hungry. Everything seems harder. Quaint little place, all very nice, and thatched roofs. But all I can think about is my hard-boiled eggs, my keto sandwiches, that's ham, cheese and lettuce, some strawberries, dry roasted peanuts, biltong. It's all there.
He is hungry.
Right, before we set off again for the afternoon's walk, we have got to just after 2 o'clock, and we've just about completed the on the website leg one, which we're about a mile or two from Porlock Weir. We're sat in the corner of a field, discussing the challenge of today and what that's going to tell us about the whole trip.
Well, you're viewing it from a challenge and a physical challenge where you want us to be punished, and I'm trying to view it from an enjoyment viewpoint, and at the moment the two are conflicting.
Oh, this is leg one of the official route, 52-day route done. We're in Porlock Weir, and I believe that's the Ship Inn ahead, which features in Lorna Doone. Much as I like to stop and have 17 pints, and fit as I can. Illegitimate daughter of Lord Byron, and she lived up there in a glorious house back in the day. And she had these tunnels built by specialist Swiss tunnel engineers, so that her guests, her genteel guests up in the house, couldn't see the tradespeople. She married some rich git called Lord Lovelace. Whether he was or not, I've no idea, but she became Ada Lovelace, née Byron.
Right.
Had these tunnels built, so you might get the impression she's a bit of a twit. However, she worked with Charles Babbage, and she is regarded in the history books as one of the first women computer programmers. Well, one of my favourite albums, in fact the second one I ever bought, was the great 71 classic by the Stones, Exile on Main Street. Always loved that album, and there's a song on there called Torn and Frayed, and that, walking fans, is how I feel right now. Well, we're at one of the highlights of today's walk, Culbone Church. This is a lovely little churchyard, literally in the middle of, well, I'm not going to say nowhere, but we're really hidden away. It's inaccessible by road, pretty much. I think there's a toll road over there, which I don't think there's much traffic on, although this is still an active little parish, apparently. That's Culbone Church, which according to the blurb is the smallest in England. It's glorious sunshine still. It just seems surreal that we've got this incredible weather. Technically we've done one leg and we're now into bonus time because we've gone right over the top. Who'd have expected that with us two to go over the top? Still going uphill all these hours later. We're in the parish of Culbone. We visited the church, and now we're heading along a lane, pretty rugged and uphill, of course, which is the Coleridge Way. I should be thinking of Matter's romantic poetry. As I say, we're on the Samuel Taylor Coleridge Way. One of the great romantic poets. In Xanadu, we visited the Pleasure Dome or some such thing, and the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, apparently all inspired by this landscape, although I think more likely inspired by taking smack or smoking it, which is what Coleridge and many other romantic poets did. Well, this is quite an emotional moment at the end of day one as we look across to, pretty certain that's Port Talbot, the other side of the Bristol Channel. You can see a plume of white smoke. Day one is done. It's just a matter of getting back to the car. Andy is fucked off already. He's had enough and he's making an early spurt up one of the last ascents we're going to do today. By jingo, we've done some ascents. I hope it's the last ascent, because pretty typically today what's happened is you're going uphill thinking that's it, that's the summit just ahead, that's the end of this, only for there to be another bit up and then another. So I reckon we've broken comfortably, and I'll fiddle the figures if we haven't, 3,000 feet of ascent. You can possibly tell from my position that I'm nearly bent double going up this bloody hill. It's hard work. Hard day indeed, but that's day one, the first leg of the SWCP done, ticked off. Fantastic it was too. Many of the key elements of coastal walking present today. We weren't down by the beach for much really, but splendid and high cliff top walking and a pretty demanding day overall. 16 miles done, nearly 4,000 feet climbed, and a long drive back to Bristol after this, but worth every second.